Welcome. Today we're going to learn something that is, no joke, one of the most powerful things you can know when you're starting French. It's the key that unlocks the names of everything around you. By the end of this, you'll be able to point at pretty much anything and ask, what is that? So, are you ready to start naming your world in French? Let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting with the ultimate shortcut. This one question is like a skeleton key that opens up a ton of vocabulary, right? Because once you can ask the question, you can get the answer for everything. Let's see what it is. So, to see how this works in real life, we're going to listen in on a classroom with a student named Okwin. His teacher is about to quiz him on different things you'd find on a desk. Your job is simple. Just listen for the one question she asks over and over and over again. And there it is. Quelque c'est. I know, it looks like a lot written down, but trust me, it sounds way simpler. Let's try it together, nice and slow. Qu'est-ce c'est? One more time. Qu'est-ce c'est? That's it. It's just the French way of asking, what is this? Now, let's hear how Okan answers. First up, the teacher points to a pen, and Okan says, c'est un stylo. Okay, the important thing to notice here is that little word he used, un. Just tuck that away in your brain for a minute. That's our first clue. Next up, a book. Same question from the teacher, and Okan's answer is, c'est un livre. And look, there's that word again, un. You see, a pattern is definitely starting to emerge here. And what about a pencil? You probably guessed it. C'est un crayon. So far, so good, right? We keep seeing un for these single objects, but something's about to change. Okay, listen closely here, because this is our first big curveball. The teacher points to a stack of notebooks, more than one, and Okan's reply is totally different. Ce sont des cahiers. Whoa, did you see that? C'est became ce sont, and our little word en became des. That is a huge clue for what's coming next. And here comes another twist. We're back to just one object, an eraser, but listen to Okan's answer. C'est une gomme. Did you catch it? It wasn't un, it was une. That's a whole new word. Let's see if that one pops up again. Next, the table. Okan's answer, c'est une table. Yep, there it is again, une. So it looks like some words get un and other words get une. This is getting interesting, right? And the chair? Okan gets it. C'est une chaise. The un pattern is holding strong for these objects. We are definitely onto something here. And a ruler. Okan says, c'est une règle. Okay, it's pretty clear now. There's some kind of system going on. There's a reason for un and there's a reason for une. And just to keep us on our toes, the blackboard is c'est un tableau. So we're back to a. Okay, so let's quickly recap the clues we've gathered from our little investigation. We've seen a, we've seen une, and for those plural notebooks, we saw they. And the last one, the school bag. Okan says, c'est le cartable. Now, that's a new one, le. For right now, let's just put that one on the shelf. We're going to focus on the main pattern we discovered. Sometimes it's a, sometimes it's une, and for plurals, it's de. Now, it's time to find out why. All right, welcome to the part where we decode everything we just heard. We're going to break down not just the question itself, but the logic behind all those different answers Okan was giving. Let's do this. So let's be super clear. Qu'est-ce c'est is your go-to universal key. You see something, you don't know the word for it, you just point and ask. It is without a doubt the fastest way to build your vocabulary from zero. I know it still looks like a bit of a monster on the page, so let's put it under a microscope. The k at the beginning is just what, and the say at the end means it is. That weird-looking part in the middle, est-ce que, is just a common piece of French grammar used to form questions. So if you translate it word for word, it's something clunky like, what is it that it is? But honestly, don't worry about that. Just remember the whole thing together means, what is this? And now, the answers. Remember what we saw with Okan? It turns out there are three basic patterns that solve this whole puzzle. For some objects, you're going to say, c'est un. For other objects, you'll say, c'est une. And anytime you have more than one of something, you switch it up to ce sont des. And this little chart makes it super clear. You ask the same exact question every single time, but your answer has to change to match the object you're talking about. C'est un stylo, c'est une chaise. Ce sont des cahiers. Which, of course, brings us to the big million-dollar question,
How on earth do you know if something is an word or an une word?
Well, that question leads us to probably the single biggest difference between English and French nouns. The reason for all those different answers comes down to one really important idea, and it's a total game changer. It's called gender.
And this right here is where it all clicks into place. See, in English, things don't have gender. A pen is an it. A chair is an it. It's simple. But in French, every single noun, and I mean everything, from a car to a cloud, is assigned a gender. It's either masculine or it's feminine. So a word for it doesn't really exist for objects.
This means that all those words we saw that used un, like un stylo, a pen, or un livre, a book, are what we call masculine nouns. So the trick is, when you learn a new word in French, you don't just learn the word, you learn its gender at the exact same time. And of course, everything we saw that used une is a feminine noun, like une gomme, an eraser, or une table, a table. The best way to think about it is that the article, un or une, is actually part of the word itself. They're a package deal. It's never just chaise, it's always une chaise. And now it's your turn. I'm serious, right now. Look around the room you're in, find something, anything at all, point to it, and ask out loud, Qu'est-ce que c'est? You now have the tool to ask for the name of literally anything in the French-speaking world. That's a superpower. Now go use it.